I'm Melanie Johnson, along with my co-host Jen Foster. We are both 13-time best-selling authors. We've published over 2,500 books and made all of our authors #1 bestsellers. We own Elite Online Publishing. If you want to become a best-selling author, look us up at eliteonlinepublishing.com. Now, welcome to the podcast that shares secrets from top industry experts that show you how to get lasting success and results. This is the Elite Expert Insider Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's Jen Foster here at Elite Expert Insider, and we are so excited to have you. Please remember to subscribe and to follow us, and if you have any comments, leave those in the comments as well. We are really excited today. We have Jill Lublin here with us today, and we are so excited to interview her. She's an international speaker about radical influence and publicity networking. And she has 4 best-selling books. So we're going to get really into those and understand what she knows and get her expertise. So welcome, Jill.
Thanks, Jennifer. Great to be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your 24 years in PR and what exactly is even public relations, because I don't know if everyone knows.
So the big thing about public relations is that the truth is you're doing it no matter what, right? You're appearing in Zoom rooms, you're attending meetings, you've got a message that matters. It's all publicity. You're on social media. That's all publicity. So what I'm really big on is that you're doing your publicity consistently. Let's have it be powerful and sharp and do your publicity the right way. But please note, the reality is you're always doing it. So doing it the right way is one of the keys. So important.
Yes. Well, and before we get into all your books and everything, tell us, how did you get here? Like, how did you get to be writing these 4 books and becoming the expert?
Well, I started my career in the music business, which was a lot of fun. And one thing I learned from the music business is that it's all about perception. And so when you're all about perception, you've got to give your audience, so to speak, the people who see you, what message you want to give them, right? And so that's always been one of my big focuses, is getting your message right. And with 24 years of experience, I actually owned a PR agency for a while. I worked in the music business, and then I started my speaking and writing career, and now I teach virtual publicity courses to just make things really easy for entrepreneurs and simple, right? And connect the dots so that everybody can have easy access to publicity.
Yes, keep it simple. I like that.
Yes.
So I know you feel strongly about the message. So what is that and how do you create it?
So the message, interestingly enough, is look at that word, think about that word. In the word message is me, sage. In the word message is also mess. That's what I want people to avoid. And so the best way to create it is to create what I like to call the problem solution formula. Think about what's the problem out there, and then give people 3 solutions, good solutions, simple solutions for getting your word out without, so in other words, whatever you're doing reaches them without you, shall I say, having to think too much about it and stumble through it. You've got to just be concise and precise, particularly in your messages.
I love that. The me sage. I like that. So what exactly is an expert to you? Tell us the definition of an expert.
Well, an expert is probably anyone listening to this podcast. You have particular items that you know well. Mine is publicity. Mine is the world of also publishing. I help people get book deals, right? And with major publishers and agents without a word written. Now that's a specialty. Yes. All of you have specialties. I've worked many years with speakers, authors, consultants, coaches, small business owners. And what I know that's consistent is the need for a message. And what does that mean? That means whenever you introduce yourself at networking meetings, for example, when you introduce yourself to a media person and say, let's do this story and here's why. You've got to have a message that works so that they respond and go, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. And the way to do that is to focus in on the problem in the marketplace, like not what you do. And this is the mistake, Jennifer, most people make, is they too much focus in on what they do versus what's the problem out there. That's what we got to be talking about, right?
What can they solve and how can they do that?
Right. And not even the how, to be honest, from at least from media perspectives, the how is not important. What is important is solving people's problems and giving them immediate solutions. Like I'm giving you immediately how to create the problem solution formula, right?
Right.
You just want to drip it in. I like to say drip your gold and give people real solutions. I remember when I wrote Guerrilla Publicity, I was privileged to talk to media across the nation. And I said, you know, what do you love and what do you hate about publicity? Entrepreneur Magazine, I remember the editor there, she said to me, you know, Jill, I want an entrepreneur to be earnest, but I also need to know what are they going to solve for our readers, right? And I heard that actually pretty consistently. The other thing you all need to know is that Entrepreneur Magazine, for example, you got to be planning ahead 6 to 9 months.
Right.
And one thing I always tell people is, you know, plant your publicity seeds so that your garden grows consistently.
Yeah. And it's so important to have that plan of action. You can't say, oh, I'm going to have my book come out next month and then plan on being an entrepreneur or magazine. It doesn't work that way. Same with podcast interviews, right? You have to set them up in advance. Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about that secret sauce formula. Well, I know you're the great media script. I know we talked a little bit about the other formula, but what about your media script?
Well, the media script is the problem solution and basically done in a conversational format. So, you know, for instance, I would say the problem today is 4 out of 5 businesses will go out of business because you have no clue how to create publicity without spending a fortune, right? Now, what did I do in there? I used you language. I put it in a very simple statistic. I made it in 5-year-old language. I've got, you know, 25 years of PR experience, and I make things really simple. And that is the sign of knowing what you know in a way that can be easily explained. You know, it's so funny. I've been hired before by people whose work I don't even understand. And that's part of why they hire me, so that, frankly, I can make it understandable, simple, and easy. And this is what you've got to think of as you're putting together your message. And that's part of this sauce, is make it in 5-year-old language and use you language.
Yeah, it's not about me and I and we, but more you, right?
That's right. That's right. So anywhere you are saying us, I, or we, take it out, substitute it.
Yeah, I love that. So what is the ooh, ah factor?
Oh, I love the ooh, ah factor. What it is really, it's about creating for you, what is it that makes other people ooh and ah? You know, it might be something that relates to your business. And then again, it might not. And so I tell people to be very detached from the way they get into media, because sometimes your ooh-ah factor may actually get you into media. Like my client, Ryan, who's an instructional designer. And to be honest, I had no idea what that was. When he told me, I said, you know, that's not going to get you media. So tell me your story. Well, his ooh-ah factor is that it had been downsized from corporate. At that time, he had a pregnant wife with their 3rd kid on the way. He just bought a big house, right? Now he's got a big mortgage payment, a wife who's very pregnant, and no job. I'm like, this isn't exactly a formula for success, Ryan. What'd you do? And so he told me he created an online company. Well, what I did with all that is I made him into a virtual office warrior. Now, the acronym for that is VOW, and Ryan took a vow never to work in an office again. That story is the one that got him into the front page of the San Francisco Business Times, into Entrepreneur Magazine, into Mac Home Journal, literally raised his revenues by 35% ongoingly, and then using what I like to call everything he's got, he's also Asian American. And although he doesn't speak Chinese, we got him into the Chinese Times. We translated an article, got him into the Chinese Times. One article made him $7,000.
Wow.
See, this is why I love publicity. It has
Yeah.
tremendous return on investment. It has tremendous credibility, familiarity, trust. It creates that recognition factor for you in the media. And what I know is that it keeps generating prospects and clients, attracting them versus, pushing for them.
Yeah. And I love that you said everything he's got, like you used everything that he has. So think like when people think about that, what is everything I've got? They want to make sure that they use all of that. And I think that's key. I like that you said that. And then you told us a little bit about how he made $7,000 there. So what would you say is the ROI on publicity?
That varies tremendously, obviously. I mean, I have a woman with a product and she got one mention in a blog and sold her $25 product from that blog. She made $15,000 because she sold 600 of them. She made $15,000. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's one blog post. Ryan, 7,000 from one. And by the way, that was just one thing. Because what happens, what I've seen is usually when media comes out, the phone tends to ring, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Your web stats go up, and an average web stat visit going up that I've seen is anywhere between 25 to 35% is what I've noticed in the marketplace and what tends to work.
Mm-hmm.
As far as ROI, I could be anywhere from several thousand to multi thousands and more.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what we're always going after. But you also have to really count the familiarity factor, the trust factor, because people will make decisions to work with you because they've seen you somewhere, and that's powerful.
Yeah, I love that. And we are a self-publishing company. We help authors to self-publish, and I love that you help authors to pitch and get publishing deals, because that's the hardest part. They might have written the book and they think that's the hardest part. No, the hardest part is getting that publishing deal and getting that pitch down. So that's great. You help authors do that.
Well, thank you. And then I tell a lot of them, just so you know, to self-publish because it's faster, you have more control, and it gets done. We love that.
And then we can use the book for that media outlet to get money and to get ROI from. And I love how you tie the PR into it. That's great. So tell us, do you have an offer for our audience?
Absolutely. So a couple things. One is, if you want to talk to me about PR, I mean, if you've got books and you need, I'm so glad you do have books because of what Jennifer does. You need to be planning your PR specifically, and in advance is best. Although I've saved a few who've already been out, but you definitely want to be putting that together. So go ahead and schedule a call with me. And how you do that is jilllublin.com/schedule. That's a great way. I'd also love to invite you. I go deep on all these tactics we're talking about in my free publicity webinar, and would love to have you there. It's live, it's interactive with me. And so go to jilllublin.com/publicity. Would be wonderful.
Awesome. So we'll put those website links in our show notes as well as on the bottom of the screen for those of you who are watching on YouTube. And I just got a frog in my throat. But yeah, so we will put those links up and people can go to jilllublin.com publicity or schedule. So we'll get those in the links. And is there one last tip you want to tell anyone about maybe a secret or a resource for PR?
I love Help a Reporter Out. A great place to get free publicity because it's filled with wonderful media who are looking just for people like you. But again, use your imagination, get expansive, don't get too narrow on what you pitch, and realize that you are the news and that your message matters.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on today, Jill.
Thank you for having me.
And everyone, please remember to subscribe and leave comments. We'd love to hear from you. And please share this podcast with others who you know will love it. You can hear it anywhere that podcasts are found: iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or even on Amazon Alexa. So you can ask her to play it on TuneIn. And thank you, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.
Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full-spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.